Hello, my name is Gary Romano. I'm with the Texas Workforce Commission coaching team, and I'm going to be talking to you today about applying for the Childcare Relief Fund. So, today we're going to talk about what the fund is, how you apply, and also how you can get help. What is the Childcare Relief Fund? It's going to provide funds for childcare businesses across Texas to help them recover. It's going to pay for costs that you have between January 1, 2021 and August 31, 2021. To be eligible, you need to be a licensed or registered child care center or home in the state of Texas, open and operating as of May 1. Now, keep in mind, I know some of you will close for the summer. That's okay if it's part of your normal course of business. Temporary closures due to COVID-19 are also allowed. And you cannot be on a corrective or adverse action by HHSC-CCR. So your total funding is going to be 80% of your license capacity at the 75th percentile of the average local market rate. So again, taking your license capacity, then 80% of that number, and then multiplying it by the 75th percentile of the average local market rate. There's also going to be some zip codes that are childcare deserts where there's fewer childcare locations. Those are going to get some additional funding, as are Texas Rising Star certified sites or national accreditation sites like NAEYC. So how do you actually do this? There's going to be 4 steps we're going to talk about. First, we want you to prepare for it. We'll talk about why and how, but you're going to want to gather your receipts since January 1, right? And this is going to open up on June 11th through July 11th, the system, the online portal. But you can identify upcoming costs you have in July and August as well and consider those for putting into the system. Step 2, you go on and you apply online, and that's going to be from June 11th to July 11th. Then, step 3, you request funds. So this is how you actually get the money to cover your costs. And finally, a check is going to arrive, and the check will come from the state within 21 days. So let's go through each step a little bit more with a little bit more detail. One, in preparing, you're going to want to gather your receipts for your costs that you've had, as well as identify anticipated costs that you're going to have. So when you apply in June or early July, you can apply for any costs you've had since January 1, 2021 to that day. You can also apply for anticipated costs that you're going to have through the end of August. So what can you include? Rent, mortgage, property taxes, insurance, your utility costs including gas, electricity, telephone, the internet, if they are relevant to your business, payroll, employment and personnel costs, including documented sole proprietor pay. So if it's just you, if you've been documenting your pay or paying yourself in a check, you can include that as well. Any official company benefits that you have, as well as 1099 contractors. Personal protective equipment, cleaning supplies, disinfectant, masks, gloves, safety goggles, all of those things, janitorial, hand sanitizer, soap, all of those things can be included in your costs. Now, do note, with some of these, because you do need to have receipts for all of these, you have to have proof of payment. So it may be a situation where you want to think about what some of the biggest costs are that you could put in. So for example, you may want to just run a payroll report that shows all of the payroll that you've done since January 1, and that may cover your full amount.
Talk a little bit more
So
about
think
the
about
process.
ways
You
that you
need
to
to keep the
apply to get in the
documentation.
system by July 11th. But you can request anticipated July and August 2021 costs at that time. You can also come back into the system through the end of August to request funds, but you can only do that if you've already said you want to apply for the program. So that has to happen by July 11th. Receipts should include your date, what you purchased, and the amount you purchased it for. When in doubt, and we'll talk about how, ask questions because we'd rather make sure you have the right receipt than the wrong one. If you're a family care provider, you need to calculate your home costs based on the percentage of time and space. So this is exactly how you also do it for your taxes every year, right? Same exact calculation. We're going to talk in a little bit about how you can get a guide that we've done, a step-by-step guide in English and Spanish for applying for the grant. And that includes exactly how to do this calculation. So if you're unsure or you've forgotten, there's a very simple workbook in there just for you. Now, you've gotten all your receipts together, you have your anticipated costs, you now need to apply online. First, you're going to get an invitation. That's going to happen by email. If you have, definitely check your junk folder. That should happen by June 15th at the latest. If you have any questions, we have an email here for the coaching group, Texas at ecebizcoach.org. You can email us if you haven't gotten one by June 15th. Email us. Let us know. That invitation is going to be good for 7 days. If you go past that date, there'll be instructions in the email on how you can get a new code or new link, excuse me. But you're going to want to apply when you receive it if you can. General information. So when you go onto the page, onto the website, you're first going to have your general information. Much of this is going to be automatically filled. You want to verify it all, right? If there's any question about it, check your CCR database and make sure that data is correct. Either way, you can email us at texas@ecebizcoach.org if you have questions on it. Verify your mailing address and ownership information under payee information, right? So you're going to do that too. So far you're just really reviewing things, right? And then there's going to be a summary. And you're going to submit, you're going to review everything, assuming that it looks good. You hit submit. You're then going to get a provider agreement. That's going to be emailed within 1 or 2 days from DocuSign. So again, check that junk folder, right? But if you haven't gotten it in 2 or 3 days, email us at texas@ecebizcoach.org, right? So this provider agreement, just has some simple rules on receiving the money and how you could use it and goes over that with you. It essentially is a contract between you and the state of Texas for the funding, and it just makes it go a little bit easier and a little bit faster. One thing is, remember, you need to apply for every one of your sites. So if you're a family care provider, you may only have one site. That's great. Center may have one site. But let's say you're a center and you have 3 different sites. Likely you're going to need to apply for each one of those. You don't have to, but if you do want the funds for each site, you will need to apply for each one. So you've signed the provider agreement that came via DocuSign, and now you can get back into the online system and request funds. This is how you actually ask for your money. So you're going to check under applications, and under the applications tab is going to be, there's going to be one that'll say approved, and then you could hit a little button that says request funds. You then enter the amount requested. There's not going to be a long list of things. It's one number. So you need to make sure that you have the documentation you need, and you retain it for 3 years. If you're anticipating costs, right, make sure that you get receipts for those anticipated costs. If, let's say, it goes under, so let's say you were going to request $3,000 for July and August that you were anticipating in costs, and let's say it comes out to be $2,500, the things you were expecting. Well, that's okay. Find another $500 in receipts that are eligible and appropriate, and that can cover the difference. But you want to make sure you have this documentation and you hold on to it for 3 years. Now remember, again, these are actual or anticipated costs from January 1, 2021 to August 31, 2021. So, how do you receive funding? Once you request the funds, you should get a check within 21 days. If you don't get a check within 21 days, that's right. Email us at texas@ecebizcoach.org. Now, there will be monitoring. So selected businesses are going to receive monitoring, and TWC will be reviewing your expenses, right? If this does happen, you can review your paperwork ahead of time with a coach. Again, email us at texas@ecebizcoach.org. We'd be happy to review everything, help you make sure everything's in order for when you do have to meet with a monitor if you're selected. Some pro tips, right? Remember, you can request the funds for a while, but you only have until July 11th to apply for the program. So apply early. Get in there just in case there's a problem or something. Gives us time to help you fix it. Have your records ready. Be ready with those receipts that you already have, or if it's anticipated costs, be clear on what you want to do. And there's a lot more guidance in a step-by-step guide we have that's on childcare.texas.gov. You can go into that guide. It gives you all of this information step by step, takes you screen by screen. You can also get coaching if you need to. Again, email us at texas@ecebizcoach.org. Let's go over getting help one more time. Childcare.texas.gov is going to have that step-by-step guide. There's also some links to help. So how you request coaching is on there. The email is on there, the texas@ecebizcoach.org email. There's also other resources on there for your business to help you have a stronger childcare business, and those are in English and in Spanish. If you email us at texas@ecebizcoach.org, you can email quick questions, you can email requests for coaching. This can all be done in English or Spanish, whichever one you're more comfortable with. We're also going to have, and you can find this on childcare.texas.gov, Q&A webinars 5 times a week. These are at different times to make it convenient for you. They're available in English and Spanish. Again, if you want to see those times, childcare.texas.gov. So we hope that this will be helpful to you. We're excited about your participation in it. Please don't hesitate to ask for help if you need it. Take care.